Noir Ray, and welcome to my channel and this live stream. Tonight I'm going to be talking about makeup I fell in love with at first sight. I've been wanting to do this video for so long because I thought there's so many products that some take a long time to learn to love or trying different ways of using the product, and there's others that right from day one they just work beautifully. So I've brought some things to share with you that are brand new, hot new makeup, and then also some products that I've used for a long time. But like I said, I fell in love with them immediately. So let's start first with a brand new powder from Revlon. Revlon just came out with this Colorstay Blot Matte Setting Powder. And it says that it has citrus, aloe, and broccoli in it. Broccoli of all things. I thought I only needed to eat broccoli, not have it in my setting powder. But this powder I immediately fell in love with. It really blurs my pores. They say it lasts up to 16 hours. And this that I have, it says mattifying setting powder, and I totally agree with that. I'm wearing it right now, and from the first time I used it, I got a very airbrushed matte look. Now this powder runs $9.99, so it's so affordable. It has like a little sifter in it, and you just lift up. This is to keep the powder in. Hopefully I don't get powder all over. There we go. We had a powder storm. And it's just very finely milled. I really love it. And the minute you start touching it, it feels like silk. It feels exactly like silk. So I love this. I fell in love with it right away. And I get so many questions about setting powders. For years, I never used one. I remember Paula Bagone, our beauty cop, she used to always say, if you don't need it, don't use it. But I find that I actually get a much more polished and finished look to my makeup now if I use setting powder. So I've actually fallen in love with it over the past year. And I'm using it now, but I never used to use it when I was younger. I like to take a moment to welcome the ladies that have come to the stream. Hello to Tricia, all the way from Indiana, and Penelope from Montreal, from Canada. Welcome. It's so cold up there right now. I'm sending you a little warm weather because here where I am, it's going to reach 82 degrees this week. Isn't that awesome? So I'm going to send a little warm weather your way. And to you too, April from Ohio. That's the Buckeye State. That's where my mother was born, in Ohio. And Penelope says, what is the best under eye concealer for dry under eyes? So I'll definitely talk about that. As I mentioned before, in some of my more recent videos, I just really love the one from Ulta Beauty. Their Youthful Glow Concealer. It's got a nice consistency to it. It's pretty thin. It blends easily. It adds a little bit of brightness to the under eye. Now another one, Penelope, that I love is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Concealer. I've used that for a long time. Again, it's very much like the Ulta formula. Thin with some luminosity to it, good coverage. But one thing I would recommend too, Penelope, that I'm loving, right now I'm not even wearing a concealer. What I'm using is the Ulta Beauty Under Eye Brightener. It's a pink shade, and it's sort of like the Becca, but so affordable. This is much less expensive, and I actually love it much more than the Becca because the Becca is a very thick cream formula, a little difficult to blend. It does stay on a long time, and it sure adds a lot of brightness to the under eyes. But I really like that more for a person that doesn't have fine lines or wrinkles. So I feel that new one from Ulta Beauty, they have a brightening concealer. Some people put that on first and put concealer on top of it. I'm just using that tonight as my concealer. Hello to Debbie, and I'm so glad you're here. And Brandy, she says today's beautiful in Salt Lake City. So welcome. And Edie from Tennessee. That's my grandmother's state. Chattanooga was where she was born. And Barb, I'm so glad you're here from St. Pete, my state, the Sunshine State. We're so glad you're here. I love St. Pete. It's such a beautiful area on the west coast of Florida. It is amazing. And Bunny's here from Massachusetts. And all the products, she said, thank you for linking them, are in the description of the video, just like any regular video. And I do make a small commission from those links, and I use that to support my channel. So I really appreciate the fact that you lovely ladies use those links. It keeps things going here on YouTube. And Penelope says, one problem, we have no Ulta or Flower Beauty. Oh my goodness. Well, let me think for a minute then of what to tell you because I use those a lot. So I'll think for a second and I'll get back to you, Penelope. Because there are other concealers. For a long time, I used the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. And I really like that. I use their brightener. The new one from Revlon also I'm really liking. They have a shade, and oh, don't forget the NYX, the new Bare concealer I've talked about. I love that. So I would recommend the NYX. That is really a good one. It's a serum. It's a concealer serum, and you probably have better luck ordering it, Penelope, online, because I know in store I've gone to Ulta. You don't have an Ulta, but when you go in store, sometimes they're all gone. Or the shade, if you have a popular shade, it might be gone. So you might have better luck ordering that online. But I love the NYX. The formula is beautiful for mature skin. And so hello to Tamara from Oregon. I love that. You're making me think of, I'm loving these shows that are on right now, Yellowstone and 1883. I love seeing that area of the country. And Patsy, she says she's right outside of Nashville. I love Nashville. I have visited there too. Such a great area of the country. Well, welcome, and welcome to Julie. We're glad you're here all the way from Australia. I have always wanted to go to Australia. It reminds me a lot of where I live, the look of the water, at least the coastal areas. It reminds me a lot of my area. And Penelope said, I bought the Peeper Keeper from your recommendation, but what if it gets in your eyes? I haven't personally had any trouble with that. What I do is, it's a balm, sort of like a Vaseline kind of texture. So I just rub it on the finger and just sort of pat it in the eyes. It's made for the eye area. So I would say just use it like any other eye cream that you're putting on. But I have never had foggy eye from it. That is a thing. I'll talk about that when I talk about these cleansing balms. I've had times where my eyes were foggy for a while, so I stopped using products because of that. But fortunately for me, I've never had any trouble with the Peeper Keeper. And Sherry, we're so happy you're here. And Edie, we're glad all the way from Tennessee also. Well, welcome, ladies. I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. We'll get rolling. And for those of you watching the replay later, I want to welcome all of you. So I talked about the Revlon, how much I'm loving this new powder that they've come out with. Well, another favorite, if you're looking for a setting powder, is this one. I've used it for such a long time. It's the number 7 translucent perfect light powder. And this is, first of all, let's talk about the packaging. It's beautiful. The top of this looks like something you spent a lot for at Sephora. And then the powder itself is a lot like the one I just showed you from Revlon. It just melts into the skin, feels very silky. I never get a cakey look on my skin from it. And it just really is so easy to use. Now what I do when I use powder, I've stopped using a brush for that. I find I get a much more blurred look with these. And after the live stream, I'll go put this in my Amazon store. So if you're shopping any of the Amazon links, you'll see these there. But I love these. These are called a Blendiful. They named it after another product we've heard, Blendiful, before. And I just dip in and I roll it in this area over the nose. I really mainly powder this T-zone and the chin. I don't powder these areas of my face because they're not affected much during the day. They seem to stay very stable. The makeup doesn't move around there. So I only powder the areas I really feel need powdered. I do go sometimes along the cheekbone here, but I don't put much directly in the under eye area because that can tend to make it look thicker and heavier. It's not that it's going to get in lines at all. I just feel it looks heavier. So those are two powders that I am just loving. And most of the things I'm talking about tonight I'm wearing. Now the foundation I'm wearing tonight is brand new from Maybelline. And this is called Green Edition. You'll find so many companies this year are going green. They're putting these ingredients into the products that, like I said, this powder from Revlon, they said there's broccoli in it. So much, hey, maybe it's better to get your broccoli that way, right? But they're putting a lot of different food kind of terms into it, and also a lot of recycling. They're trying to make sustainable packaging. That is going to be one of the trendy things for this year, is the sustainability. Now this foundation I am really loving. Let me see, this is $8.99 on Amazon, which is a great price. I think I've seen it in drugstores for more than that. But I like it. There's no mineral oil in it. It's buildable. They say it's got jojoba oils and marula in it. And they call it 70% natural. I don't pay a lot of attention because this whole natural thing can be a bit confusing. And I always think of it like this: poison ivy is natural, right? So I ignore some of those things and look in the ingredient list before I buy things and see if I know there's anything in it that I know will irritate my skin. I've had absolutely no irritation from this. I've worn it several times. I want to show you, it comes in a dropper bottle like this. So let me get a glass palette for you. I want you to be able to see it. And it's very serumy. What this reminds me of so much is the Ulta Beauty serum I've been talking about, except when it dries down. The Ulta Beauty has more luminosity to it. This is more matte. The Ulta Beauty also has more of a feel like there's been some oil put in it. This one does not. It dries almost to like a powder. When you're done applying this, you feel like you put a powder foundation on. So it's very unique. I really don't have anything in my collection that seems like this. The other ones that I have that are oils like this dry a little more sticky, have a little more of a glossy look. So if you're not into all the glow, then I think this would be great if you want a little more matte look. Now, if you want glow, I have a new product, new to me. I don't know that this is new on the market, but it's from the company Versed. I've been buying myself a lot of their products and trying them out. And I've been really excited at the results I'm getting. This is really nice. These are called Mood Lighting Glow Drops. Now these drops right now I have on my cheek here. And what I love, it reminds me again, sort of like that feel of the Daniel Sandler watercolor blushes. It's very thin. I'll show you the formula on my glass palette. But it comes just like the Daniel Sandler does in a little dropper like this. And then let's see if you can see, yeah, how thin these drops are. Now you can wear these drops alone. Say you wanted just a little luminosity to your skin, you didn't want to wear foundation, you can wear it that way. You can blend these in with your foundation. So like I said, this is a little matte. So if I wanted to make it more glowy, which I've tried, you just put a drop of this in it and you have more of a glow look. Now tonight what I did was I put the Maybelline, the new, it sort of blows my mind because this doesn't look like Maybelline, does it? It has just like a whole unique, different look from anything they've ever come out with. And so, if you want, you can do what I did tonight and just put a couple of drops on your cheeks like this. I just put some on my glass palette and went like that. And I think they look really nice. You don't have that buildup of powder on your face like you would with a powder highlighter. It goes right in the skin, so I really like the look of it. To me, this reminds me of a look like you get from the Hourglass powders, which are so much more expensive. These are $17.99 for the drops, so it's on the higher end of what we would pay at a drugstore, but these will last so long. I mean, literally, you only need a drop, unless you were using it like your foundation, then you might use 2 drops. So that would be it. So I see Sherry says, can you recommend how to pick the correct color to match your skin? Well, I would say, Sherry, have you ever had a favorite foundation that you love so much? What I like to do, if I'm trying to find a new foundation, I'll take one I know works really well for me and try to match it in the store if you're going that route. Now, if you're just talking, I try to match what will blend into my neck and match with my cheeks. It's much better, from what I've heard from makeup artists, and I feel the same way trying it myself, to go darker, a little bit darker than lighter. If you get too light, you can look very washed out. If you do have one that's too light, like I had something I was trying this morning that was too light, I got my bronzing powder out and warmed up the foundation that way and made it doable. And of course, there are all the colors, like from LA Colors, you can add, like they have a white you can use to lighten the foundation if you need to. But I try to match and see, does it match with my cheek here, and then not so much with the neck, because my face is a little darker than my neck. My neck doesn't get much sun. The face head on gets more sun, even though I have sunscreen on. So I would say that's the best way. But if you're trying to match when you're going to a store, I suggest taking, like, this is a shade that really works well for me. This is one product I fell in love with instantly a long time ago. We've had a long time relationship. This is the Neutrogena Hydra Boost Hydrating Tint. This is one of the first thin foundations I ever attempted. I used to always use full coverage. And I tried this and I just loved it instantly. It has this beautiful applicator, easy to use. I just put it on. You can blend it out with a sponge, with your fingers, really anything, and your own skin shows through. So if you have a lot of hyperpigmentation, you might want to use something more like what I showed you with the Maybelline. I find I get great coverage. You can build this into pretty much full coverage. I put it on a little heavier than I normally would for going to school tonight, and I was like, wow, that reminds me like of other foundations I've used that are full coverage. So this is very buildable, but I love this from Neutrogena. I've used it a long time. If you're looking for a pretty affordable foundation that will give you that cover, let your own skin show through, this is a really good one. It's been around a while, but I love it. Speaking of foundation, another one I fell in love with, which is shocking to me. I've never really liked powder foundations. I've tried to like them. They're really easy to use. They're quick, great for getting out the door, but I typically don't like them, or I feel they make my skin look heavy. That's why I think I don't like them. I don't feel like myself. I feel like I have way too much on. But I'm in love with the new e.l.f. Camo Powder. This is in the shade, 280N. I usually go with a neutral foundation, not warm or cool. I go with a neutral tone, and that seems to work really well for keeping my redness not showing too much. And I just really have found neutrals work well for me. Well, this is beautiful. I've worn this so many times and it's so quick. I use my BK Beauty. I use this brush, the 101 brush I've talked quite a bit about. I love this for applying this e.l.f. powder. It's so quick. I can get my whole face done in like 30 seconds, I swear. It's amazing how much faster it is to use a powder versus working with a liquid and getting everything even and looking nice. So if you like powder foundation, this is pretty reasonable. It's $11. It has no talc in it. It's considered medium to full coverage. It's semi-matte, and they say in their ads that it gives you an airbrush look. I would agree. I really feel that this is the best foundation product e.l.f. has come out with so far, in my opinion. I like it better than their liquids. I like it better than their Camo CC cream they came out with. I could never get a good shade in that. I don't know why. I tried 2 different tubes and I never could get it to look as nice like as the It Cosmetics. But this right away looked really nice on my skin. I was shocked. I was really shocked and surprised by that. And Sherry says, can you, okay, we talked about that. And Debbie says that's all she uses. She doesn't like the feel of liquid. I need to try the e.l.f. She's been using the Fenty and it's good. Thank you for telling that, Debbie, because I haven't tried a lot from Fenty. Are you all interested in Fenty? I would like to know that. Or list a brand you'd like me to try that maybe you haven't heard me talk about, or you'd like to know more about. Maybe I've mentioned the brand. I would love that. That's great information for when I'm purchasing products to share with you and trying them out. I try to be very selective because most of the products I'm showing you I'm purchasing myself, just like you are. And I want to bring you the best things that I can. So I read a lot of reviews, a lot of comments from people before I even go and order anything. I always do quite a bit of research before I reach out and buy a product. And Debbie says, if e.l.f. can replace my Fenty, that would be great. I agree, because $11 is so reasonable. And the Neutrogena Hydro Boost, by the way, I wear soft beige number 50, and that runs on Amazon $9.90. And I think that's a really good price. Out when I'm shopping, I've seen this, I believe at CVS, for almost $16. So almost double. Now I know you get the extra care bucks and all that, but if you were just running in to buy it and you didn't need it right away, Amazon has a great price. And a lot of times I'll go to the store and they're missing the shade I need. I couldn't get this 50 in the store. I tried forever and finally got it through Amazon. So I'm glad that they're available like that. And one thing I want to say about the Hydro Boost that I didn't mention, it's a water gel formula, and that's why I think I fell in love with it right away. It was so different than anything that was out on the market at that time. They've come out with many more now that have sort of a gel texture, but that was one of the first that I had ever tried, at least. And I love the way that gel spread on my skin. I just thought it applied so beautifully and looked so nice. And it comes in 10 shades, and also they say it's weightless. I totally agree with that. When I wear this, I feel like I have nothing on my face. So those of you that don't really like the feel of a heavy foundation, or don't like the feel even of a foundation, I think you would really like this. And I see, Sandy says, you can see pores on my nose when I use it. I guess I need a primer. If you're seeing pores, I definitely would recommend, I find that these silicone primers are the best for that, because the ones that aren't silicone, they're really basically like putting a moisturizer on. I feel like they do nothing for the pores. So if you're looking for something like the e.l.f. The putty primer would be good. You can sort of push that in. I know how you feel, Sandy, because I have larger pores in this area on both sides of my cheek. The flatter parts of my skin here, you really can't see pores, but just like most people, you have it on the chin, around the nose area, in this part of the cheek. So if you get, another one I love is the Milani. I believe it's called like No More Pores. I've shown it here on the live stream before. I love that one. It spreads beautifully. A little easier spread than the e.l.f. Putty Primer. That's a little more sticky, a little different texture. So it goes on very smoothly and it really does blur the pores. So I definitely would recommend, if you're looking to cover up pores, to wear a primer that's really good for that. And Monique says, I have always loved, you recently ordered the gua sha tools. Awesome. And on Instagram, I wanted to tell you ladies, in case you're not over there regularly, I have posted a couple of little routines on there with my gua sha tool. I bought a brand new one I talked about that is sort of a dupe for one that they're showing on Instagram that's $65. The one I have is $15.99. I believe I talked about that in my last YouTube video, and I love it. It's got a jagged edge on it, which is great for working. I wanted to work on the lines in my forehead. I have a lot of lines from just being very expressive and, you know, raising my eyebrows. So they're lines that have just been created over years and years, probably of saying to kids, where's your homework? See what I mean? There's where the lines go. So I like that tool because I can just work in those lines and it sort of puffs them up, makes the skin look smoother, and I really like the tool. So I just posted those a couple of days ago, and if you'd like to look at those, that'll just give you a few ideas. And hello to Lorraine from Scotland. Oh, Lorraine, what time is it there? I know someone said, and it might have been you, it was like midnight over there. So you were up very late to see this, Lorraine, and I appreciate you. And Tricia says, can you recommend other good silicone primers? Well, like I said, I love the Milani. The e.l.f. I don't go to as much as the Milani. I really enjoy that. And also Revlon, this same line, and I'll be sharing this soon, they have a primer. And that had more of a silicone feel to it, and I like that too. So those are some of the ones. Mainly, I'm thinking Milani, but if some others pop into my mind, Tricia, I'll let you know. But I really do like silicone. I find I get more of an effect of a smooth blurred look if I use the silicone rather than some that look like a moisturizer. And Brandy says, I got a wonderful sample primer from Ulta. It's wonderful. It's called Poreless Face Primer. It's so soft and spreadable. Thank you, Brandy. And I just bought some of the Ulta brand primers. They came in a little kit, and I'm trying those out too. I have found so many great products from Ulta Beauty, the Ulta Beauty line lately. I can't even believe it. Now let's talk about a couple more things from the company Versed. I bought this recently. I talked about this in a video. This I definitely fell in love with. And usually skincare you don't fall in love with immediately. It takes time. It may even take months till you like something. But one of the dermatologists here on YouTube was raving about this and said, this is what she uses. And she showed another product, I believe, that was much more expensive, and she felt this worked just as well. So I thought, why not try this? This one here is $17.99, so under $20. I put it on after I get my shower. I leave this in the shower. I don't take it out, I leave it in there. I sort of pat the main part of the water off, and then I put this on. And it goes on. I'm going to show you on my hands. And somebody mentioned in a comment, why not use it on your hands too if it works so great in your body? And I do put it on my hands, but I'm going to start using it more often, and I will report back to you. I have a little like sunspot I've had for a long time on my hand. I took a picture of it, and I'm going to use this on it and see if it gets the little bit of sunspot to go away, because I've had that a long time. But this is the texture of it. and it will stay white for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it'll sink in. It feels beautiful on the skin. It's really kept, I put it all over my body, legs, arms, stomach, chest. I just cover myself with it and then get out of the shower. And I am so happy with this. I love the way it feels. I feel like my skin is a lot smoother. I've been using it a while now, but even the first time, like the next morning, I went, wow, my skin feels really good and it looks so nice. It looks healthy. Now this is a retinol body lotion, and I was a little worried, to be honest, when I got it, that I have such sensitive skin. I would get a rash on my legs, a rash on my arms, and I never did. My skin has reacted beautifully to this. So I really love this. If you're looking to make your skin look a little nicer, smoother, maybe help with some crepiness, that's part of what I was wanting to work on. I found since I completed menopause, I'm noticing changes in the elasticity of my skin. I noticed that in this part of the arm, like it getting looser around where the elbows are, looser in the knee area. So I'm concentrating on those and seeing if I can get improvement. And if I can, I will definitely share that with you. So, oh my gosh, Lorraine says that it is almost midnight where she's at, and she's joining us. So thank you so much for being here. Erin says it works very well. I love it. Thank you, Erin, for telling us that. And Patsy says, second your recommendation on the Verse lotion. I saw that same dermatologist video and love it. Debbie says, only one sunspot, how lucky. Well, I do have a couple on my chest too, right here, and I'm going to work on those. I've had these several years too, but really, I guess because I started on sunscreen so young, even my dermatologist says, I can't believe you're a Miami kid. I cannot believe you grew up in the state of Florida and lived here all your life and you're not covered with sunspots and freckles and things. And I think it was really starting, and also I'm not outdoors a lot. I've been teaching all these years and most of my day is spent indoors. So I'm really not out much unless I go for a walk or those things. I've never had a job where I'm outside all day. So I think that really has helped too. But Debbie says, do you like it better than the Gold Bond lotion? I would say yes. And the reason I'm saying yes is because I just feel that doesn't have, I'm sure, the level, the retinol that this has. I think the retinol is what, is pretty powerful, and it's going to make the skin look smoother and get rid of those spots. I still love the Gold Bond. It keeps me hydrated. It makes my skin look nice. It has, the one I showed that I think Debbie's talking about is the one with grapeseed oil in it, and that is great for your skin. So I really love that, but I'm going to stick with this for a while because, like I said, I think I might get a little more dramatic results with it. But there's nothing wrong with the Gold Bond. I still love it, and I still have it sitting around the house, and even my husband loved it. He used it. So I really like it. And Patsy says, oh, I have the retinol, no rash either. Thank goodness, right? And so this is a product that I'm really loving. I feel like I don't really, even though I'm covering my whole body with it, I don't even have to use that much. It seems to spread really nice, and like I said, no irritation at all. And so I'm really happy. And the thing on the Verse site, they actually made this for aging skin. It's geared towards us. And it says one of the benefits of it is it brightens hyperpigmentation. That's what I was looking for. And then they said it firms the skin like skin around the knees. The knees are a problematic area, I believe, for most people over the age of 50. The skin gets looser there. Do any of you feel the same way, that you have looser skin around the knees, elbows, right here in the underarms too? And I sort of have a funny story about that. One day my friend was just feeling so bad about, you know, she says, my skin's getting so loose. And she was younger than me. She was in her 40s. She was about 8 or 10 years younger than me. And she was complaining to me about some things. I said, I just looked at her and I said, don't feel bad. The skin around my armpits is loose. And she just burst out laughing. She says, now I don't feel so bad. Now I feel better. So we're all in it together, even with the armpits. But Elhan says, hi everyone, I'm back to the office. Oh gosh. So welcome, we missed Elhan at the makeup club. We call it the makeup club now. Well, let me talk about, we've talked about Versed. One last thing I wanted to show is I bought a kit of Versed. They have like a kit that has smaller size products. They do make minis. I wanted to let you know that on the Versed site, which if you go to my link to look at this, you'll see that many of the products have minis. And they even have a kit, I think it was around $35 or so, that had a lot of different skincare products of theirs. So I bought that to try. But this is their Day Dissolve Cleansing Balm. Now, I've had bad experiences with cleansing balms with foggy eye, where after I rub to get the mascara off, my eyes have like blurred effect for quite a while. I used the Clinique Take Off the Day. That gave me the worst foggy eye ever, and I love Clinique, but that just didn't work for me. And I tried not using as much product, using less. I still ended up with foggy eye. So something in that just didn't work for my eyes. And I have heard other people talk about that. I've tried a few of these kinds of balms, but I really like this. With this one, they said when it dissolves, and that's how it worked for me, it turns into almost a light milk. So it feels, I'll take it out for you, the balm. It's like this, feels almost a little, not even like Vaseline. It's not like Vaseline, it's a lot thinner, and it just feels silky. But as you rub it in, it just gets like really thin and milky. And I find that, you know, they're making this to be the first thing you do to take off makeup. Remember, and I know a lot of women still do it, we used to use cold cream. You put the cold cream on to get the makeup and then maybe wash your face afterwards. Some people just use the cold cream. Well, with this, it's sort of like that. You use this first, and then what I do is I use a cleanser afterwards, and then all my makeup is off, my skin is so clean, and so I really like it. They say all you need is a dime size amount. So even this is the mini. Like I said, you can order this separately. You don't have to get that big kit that I bought. You can just order this, and if you want to try it out. And I think the mini was maybe around $8. The large size of this is $17.99. So it's less expensive than the Clinique, and I really love it. So those are the three things I bought from Versed. I bought the Glow Drops. I'm really happy with that. I bought the Retinol, which I'm thrilled with, and the Cleansing Balm. I bought that set. I also bought something I talked about in a video recently. They're microcrystals for doing like a at-home microdermabrasion. Love that. My skin looked like I just came from the nicest spa. I mean, my skin looks so fresh. I was just, again, one of those like, I love this immediately. I probably should have included that, but I talked about it recently. But that was one I fell in love with right away. So anybody that's come, Chanel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. We're talking about makeup that I fell in love with instantly. I'm going to talk about my lips right now, because on my lips, I have a mixture of things. Now, I want to answer a question from last week. One of you lovely ladies asked me, what is on your lips? I love your lips. I guess this was maybe, might have not been the live stream, might have been my video, but it was this. And this is the shade Be Cheerful. This is a stain from L'Oreal. This is, I've got a couple of details here, so let me look. This is their actually this is the Brilliant Shiny Lip Stain in Be Cheerful. I really like this because it's sort of a cross between a stain for your lips and a lip gloss all in one. Now I have this as a topper tonight, but the last time I wore it alone, and I really love it. It's so pretty, and I'm going to put some on my hands so you can see the shade. Isn't that gorgeous? I love pink, especially as we go into spring. I tend to wear a pink lip a lot. This feels nice on the lips. This is one of L'Oreal's brand new products. It's just been out maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 months at the most. But this again is Be Cheerful. I really love it. Now, another product that I love, the main thing I'm wearing on my lips right now are these Milani. Now, most women our age hate matte lipstick because it looks too dry on our lips and we feel it's very aging. But the formula that Milani came out with feels like the Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. It's not a regular matte. This has to it a silky, powdery sort of feel to it. And I heard Kimberly from Pretty Over 50 mention recently, she's been trying these, that she felt it felt a lot like the Huda lipsticks. Now I have one of those and I would agree with her. It has sort of that same luxe feel. But let me show you, this shade right here is Petal. I really love it. It looks a little different on camera. It's, to me, a little pinky coral. It looks a little different when I'm showing it on the camera. But this is beautiful. Now, if you're wanting something a little lighter, then I like Peony. And if you go by the colors on the containers, I love the packaging. Let's just mention that. I absolutely love that. And I'm going to show you here. This is the lighter shade, and it has a little bit of a nude to it, but these are beautiful. I bought the 2 lighter shades, but then I got a little more daring and got a deeper shade here. This one is, let's see, this one's Passion, a little more of a brown, a deeper bronzier nude type of shade, and then I went with the lighter one, which is Pleasure, and you can see here that this is right down here, that it's so much lighter. But I love these. They last on the lips. They look very luxe on the lips. This is different than anything Milani's ever had. Usually, I used to love their cream lipsticks so much. I bought pretty much every shade they made. So I'm very well versed on Milani and their lipsticks, but I haven't seen them have anything like this before. And again, the packaging to me looks very luxe, expensive, and the feel of it feels expensive. So I really like it. And I see Brandy says matte lipstick is the worst. That looks nice. Yeah, I love this, and it's so affordable. These Milani lipsticks are $8.99, and fortunately they do have them now. I have the link. They were really tough to find for a very long time, but I have them linked for you if you're interested in those. And I have a couple more lip products I want to share. One of you recommended last time this one. I shared some of these from L'Oreal. They're Glow Paradise, and this is the shade 130. Nude Heaven. One of you recommended this, and it's absolutely beautiful. I see Debbie says her grandma used Pond's cold cream and had nice skin. I know my mom used that before, and I remember her using that on me as a kid when I had dance recitals to take off my makeup. So I can still remember the smell of it. So I see that. Love our hearts in the background. Yeah, those hearts in the background, Debbie. or Sherry rather, said that I picked those up at Marshall's around Valentine's Day. So I don't think they probably have them now, but thank you for that. I love Marshall's for knick-knack paddywhacks, you know, knick-knacks for around the house. They have some great deals. And hello to Julie, who's joined us. And Elhan says, like your grandma, I used Pond's cold cream and tissued off before cleansing. Works great. A lot of people still do use Pond's, and there's nothing wrong with that. I say whatever works, but this is beautiful. This is one of your recommendations, Nude Heaven. And again, I love this L'Oreal packaging. These are not so heavily scented like some of their other lipsticks, but I love that this is sort of a cross between a balm, a lipstick, and a gloss all in one. I think it's such a great, great formula. Oh, and Debbie got her pillow today from Your Face Pillow. I'm so excited for you, Debbie. That is great. What a great company. I mean, when I tell them who the winner is, they're on it. Immediately, they send tracking so I can let the giveaway winner know that they won. I just have been so happy with them. They are so kind to me, too. They are just good people. So I'm thrilled. I hope you get a great night's sleep tonight, Debbie, with your pillow. It took me a few nights to get used to it. I'll have to tell you because, you know, old habits are always hard to break. But I'm in love with it. My daughter's loving it. She feels like it's helping her acne, not laying on the acne at night. So I wish I had had that in my teen years. That would have been helpful. So I'm really excited for you, Debbie. Now, a couple of other things I want to share. Let's talk about eyeshadow. And we'll start with Julep. Now, I love these Julep shadows. First, I want to share with you something that I didn't realize when I first got this. On the Julep, they have a built-in sponge, so you can blend out those edges. I love that, and you don't need an extra brush. I'm all about things being, you know, all in one and not having to bring a lot of other things to the table. Now, this shade is one that I like. I think this one is the Putty. Let me see. Now they write their shades. Let's see. I always forget where they put the shade. It'll come to me. They say on it just eyeshadow 101. I know it's on this end. Yes, Putty. I get an A+ for my memory there. Okay, I love this. This is one of those just sort of nudie. It's almost hard to show up on camera, but it's got a purplish, pinkish tone to it. I really like that. So if you like cool shades, I think this is so beautiful. It's great for mixing with other shades. I actually have found I like these sticks now better than things that come in the jar, like the MAC or the Revlon or any of those. I've used those and love the formulas, but these are so quick and easy. You can draw them on really fast. Now, another one I love from Julep, this shade is Caramel Matte. The great thing about the Julep is they come in, I believe, metallics, mattes, and shimmers. So let me see, I wrote down a couple of details here for you about them. Yes, there's over 30 shades in the Julep, and they come, like I said, matte, shimmer, metallic, and you don't need a brush because they have the brush built right in, and I think that's great. And it's a sponge, not a brush. Now this is the shade that I bought recently and I'm wearing on my eyes. I'm going to draw here. This shade, this is a caramel. So I have everything linked. This is Caramel Matte. If you like this shade, this is what, I'm going to close my eyes for a second. This is what I'm wearing tonight. Now I mixed it with something else, and it's from e.l.f. I love these e.l.f. sticks. Now these are all, let's see, at $5. What a great deal. These are amazing. You can get such a beautiful eye look. Now what I did was I put a little of the rose gold on top because I wanted a little shimmer. So I'm going to show you the rose gold. I'm getting so many swatches, it's getting hard to tell what's what. I need to clean my arm off. But the rose gold is just gorgeous. Then they have this one. If you like champagne on the eyes, you like that just a little bit of sparkle, this is perfect. What I like about these two is you can be strategic. You know, when you're blending powders like, say, a champagne, they can tend to go all over the place, and it's very hard to keep them centralized in one space. So a lot of times I like to draw my shimmer just in the center of the mobile lid, and that's it, where it's not as crepey there. Well, this, it will stay put. It's not going to move around, where as the day goes on, I find with powders, they tend to migrate more. So I really love the champagne, beautiful shade. Now, I love purple. So this one is the rich amethyst. And I showed this before when I was talking about my e.l.f. favorites. This is beautiful. I like to smoke out the edge of my eye with this. So I have used it on the whole lid, but I also like to smoke it out. Don't think you have to smoke it out on the sides with just brown or black. I like to take shades of deeper purple or a mauve or a rose or a bright green or any shade that you love. It's a great way to incorporate it without it feeling like too much. Like I can wear that to work and feel like that's appropriate for a work setting and not overly dramatic. So I love that. And then another shade I got that I really fell in love with right away is this one, Magnetic Pull. And this is also more of a mauve shade. I tend to love those shades for the mobile lid because you can do a lot with it. You can add some brown in, you can add some other shades and just blend them and get a really beautiful look. And it says, Julie says, yes, just placed an order of e.l.f. sticks. These are amazing. Now, one thing I wanted to mention about e.l.f., they have announced that they're going to raise some of their prices a little bit. And I think that's so kind that they let everyone know that ahead of time. They really didn't have to do that. They could just bump the bite size from $3 to $4 and call it a day. But I really think that was so kind of them to let the public know they're going to raise, not on everything, but on some of their products. So I really appreciate that from e.l.f. I think they're, so far, everything I've had with e.l.f., I've always been pleased with that company. And Brandy says, Laura, do you use a primer with a cream shadow? It seems redundant. I've tried it both ways, and I do want to share something with you that won't move. This is not drugstore, but this is brand new. It Cosmetics has come out with their new superhero No-Tug shadow stick. Now, I chose this shade because of it being a neutral, and you know what? I'm almost seeing a dupe here. This is the e.l.f. Not the e.l.f., the It Cosmetics. Now, let me tell you, I wore this for hours. I left it on my eyes maybe 16 hours. It never went anywhere. Now, these are very pricey. In my opinion, they're $24. That seems like a lot when you can get these others for so much less. But if you see a shade you love and you want a good quality product that's never going to move, this is it. I did a pun there. It was it. I was so impressed because when I first saw them, I said, $24 for those? I said, oh my gosh. My daughter was with me. I said, that's a lot of money compared with the e.l.f. sticks or the Julep. And I said, but I feel obligated to try it because I want to be able to compare products. So I said, well, I'll buy one. So I bought this one because I thought this is called Tenacious Tawny. And I thought, well, that's so wearable. I could use this and do different shades and get a lot of looks out of it. Well, I'm telling you, it really was the bomb. It is amazing. So I got to give credit to it. It is pricier, but I feel like you get your money's worth with it, especially if you love a particular shade in their line and you go, that's something I'll use every day, that's really great, then I think it's so worth it. Now, one thing I didn't show, I want to go back to lips for a second, because I have gone a little crazy with these and pretty much bought every shade they came out with. And it's the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Lip Balms. I started with a couple. I shared one with you that was a dupe for the Clinique Black Honey. I love it just as much, maybe even more. And so I actually went and bought a second one of those. But then I went on the crazy train and I bought tons of them, every color, not tons. I'm doing hyperbole here. But this is Made for Peach. Beautiful peach shade. I am just loving this. Let me put some here. These are so dewy. They don't, look at the finish on that. Isn't that beautiful? These are so affordable. These are $4.86. Unbelievable. I just keep these in my purse, just everywhere, because I'm impressed with them. Now this one here, clear as crystal. What I bought this for, and you see the pink on the end, you know what I've been wearing. This is from my red lipstick. I bought this because it's clear and I wanted something to put on top of matte lipstick. So that's why I bought the clear one, and I really like that. I love the feel of it, the way it looks on my lips. Now this one here is Bliss You Berry. This is the dupe for Clinique Black Honey. So if you love Clinique Black Honey, this is the best dupe I've ever seen. Here it is. What I find is a lot of people who've said certain lip balms are dupes. I don't think they're dupes because they're too like purple. They have no brown in it. The Clinique Black Honey has a mixture of berry but with brown, that 90s brown. And so this has that. I love this. Like I said, I went and bought another one, which I rarely do because I'm always testing so much makeup. I don't usually buy backups of anything because I know I have so many things I need to test to share with you. So, but I legit went back and bought a second one because I said I want to keep one in my purse and maybe one in the house. So thank you, Sherry. I do a lot of research to find these things. I spend hours online reading reviews, reading magazine articles, because I really want to make wise purchases just like all of you do. And also, you know, I want to be mindful that most people are on a budget, and I want to find things that are really good quality and affordable. Sometimes I go above affordable for certain things, especially skincare, if I think it's something that's really going to benefit my overall look, something with skincare. But for most of the makeup, I find really amazing products from the drugstore. But I love to try mid-priced makeup because how else can I compare and tell you something is as good or, you know, not worth spending the money for it if I've never tried it. So I do go out and buy some mid-price makeup like Charlotte Tilbury, I think of her, and also like Becca, some of those lines, to try them out and see, you know, how they're going to work. Hourglass is another one that comes to mind. So Tricia says, I haven't been able to find the CoverGirl lip balms at my local Walmart. Yeah, I have not seen them there. The link I have is my Amazon store. You probably have even better luck on Amazon. I find that when I go to in-store, because a lot of the newer things tend to be gone when I get there. So Life is Pink is another one I bought. Love this. If you love a pink lip, I think this is fun. Look at this pink. So pretty. I just love the shine and the reflection from these. I think they're great. And one last one to share with you tonight. This is You're the Palm. And this one is more, sort of an orangey red shade. So I really like it. It's something different I really don't have, and I wanted to try all of them. It's got, when you look at the actual stick itself, it looks a little different in person than on camera. I see a little bit of bronze to it too. So it's a really neat, unique shade. I really like it a lot. Now I have a couple more things actually to share, and one is blush. I love blush. I know a lot of you love blush. I think it brings so much life to the face. And you can see from the wearing of this packaging, this is so well loved. This is not a recent purchase. I've had this a long time, but it's from Milani, and it was hard to find for a long time, but now they have it actually at Ulta. So I was really happy that they're carrying it now, but I love to blend all these. Tonight I'm wearing these two shades on my cheeks blended together. I put the lighter pink up front. I tend to go sort of a gradient from light to dark on the cheekbone, but these are really nice powders. They feel beautiful on the skin. They last. So there's two of the shades, and I'll swatch the deeper shade. And I've even used that just with a light touch, and I placed it more here. I've even used this sort of like a bronzer a little bit. But this is one of my favorite blushes I've had a long time that I really enjoy. And even though this powder is so affordable, if it were in more expensive packaging, then I would feel more like it's high-end. Well, hello to Ella, and she says, how old is this woman? I am 57 and a half. See, that's a great thing. I love it at school when kids ask me that. I say, well, how old do you think I am? And they said, about 30. I said, you're my favorite student. I absolutely love you. And I always get a good laugh about them, from them when I say that. But that's like, remember when Roseanne was on her show, she used to say, you're my favorite daughter. Then she'd go into the next daughter and say, you are my favorite daughter. So that's sort of how it rolls. But I'm glad you're here, Ella. I am so happy that I've made it this far to 57. You know, so many people don't. And what a privilege to be here with all of you. We're all so fortunate. We have so much to be thankful for. And I truly am thankful for all of you being here at our big makeup party that we have every week. Before I talk about, let's see, I have two more products. I want to tell you something that happened today. I got a text from Lisa Monique, not a text, she sent me a message through Instagram that a company had stolen her image and my image and was using it in their ads. And she sent the ad to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, not again. This has happened to me maybe 5 times since I've been on YouTube. Many times they have stolen my image. These are companies that I don't even know about, I've never talked to, I have no idea what their product is, I've never used it. But they are able, with technology, of course, to go online, capture my image from a video I've done, and use it in their advertising. Now you would say, Laura, why don't you do something about it? No one helps you. There's no one on Facebook that's going to help. There's no one on YouTube. It just sort of like is what it is. It's like the Wild West. They just steal my face and use it in their advertising. And a few months ago, someone wrote me sort of angry at me, and they said, why are you promoting, you shouldn't be working with those type of people. Why are you promoting that product? I said, what product? I said, they stole my image, and now you're thinking I'm using this product or not talking about it, or that I'm off doing a video for them when I'm not. So I wanted to let you know that. This happens a lot. They have done this to so many of the YouTubers in the mature community who've never received a dime. Not a dime. Not only not a dime, but we never gave permission for our image to be used. So it's thievery on the internet. And it's just terrible, but there's no one will help us. No one will do anything about it. If they could, we would. And we're obviously not going to hire attorneys when we aren't even being paid for this. It would cost us so much, thousands of dollars. And how do you fight these people? It's just like what's happened to celebrities for years with people saying inaccurate information about them and them not being able to do much about it. So it's very unfortunate. It upsets me because then people are going to think I use that product when I don't. And this happened, I did a video, my biggest video I've ever done about face tape. And if you haven't seen it, it's really, it was fun. I love doing that video. But after that, so many companies I've never heard of took an image, because in the video I put the face tape on. It's the Art Harding Instant Lift. And it was a video I did like, let's try this. Let's see if it works, kind of a video. So I put the face tape on and I go, wow, look at how lifted I am. They stole that. And it was for their face cream or something like that. So they don't hire models. I see that somebody said something, Elhan says, that's just horrible. I'm sure they could find models of their own. I know. And they don't find models. They just keep capturing YouTubers' videos, put it all together, and there's their models for no money at all. And this has happened to me at least 5 times in maybe the last 3 or 4 years, where all of a sudden I'll be watching something. I've seen it, even one on Pinterest, where I go, oh, that's me. And then I see a product and I go, oh my gosh, I've never even heard of these people. This is horrible. But what can I do? I know it's happened to Mary Ellen after 60. People were telling her they were using her lips. They take body parts too. They took her lips. Just so many of us here, I guess they know we can't do anything about it, so that, like I said, it's the Wild West, basically. So Helen, welcome. The replay will be up instantly. So Elhan says, and the guy from The Office, they use his stock photo. Oh my gosh, and the photos are so ridiculous. They Photoshop all these photos. So they show all these lines and then they Photoshop it out where it's all blurred. So it's all just ridiculous. And so I know they look at channels, they see how many people are watching, they're really targeting women our age. And that really infuriates me because that's who they're going after. They think we're vulnerable and they go after us. So I'm really a little bit ticked about this tonight, but you know, it is what it is, and I'm just a little aggravated about it. But they did it to Lisa Monique too. She's in there. They show her, and they captured stuff from, you know, foundation videos and stuff she did, and they put it all together and act like it's that face cream that they're selling. So it really is appalling, Julie. I'm with you. Speaking of appalling, if you have a chance, on my Instagram, I posted something I saw at Walmart yesterday. And this is something that's bothered me for so many years. It's my pet peeve. So if you are over on Instagram, go over there and see that, and you'll know why it's my pet peeve. And it really has to do with nail polish. I'll give you that spoiler. But the last product, I guess I've covered everything. I have one last thing I want to share with you, and then if you have any questions. Teresa says, I saw one with Mary Ellen. That's Mary Ellen after 60. So I know, I've seen things they've used with Mary Ellen, and it has her so upset too. She's really aggravated with the fact that they don't ask any kind of permission, and they just do that off the cuff. But this is something for your nails. I have loved, there was another nail polish I used for a long time where it turns your nails pink and hardens the nails. Well, Essie's come out with one now, and it's hard to resist. It's a nail strengthener, but instead of clear, it is pink. So it gives your nails a nice pink glow, like as if you put a light pale polish on, but it's sheer and it's clear. I love this. So many of us have issues with our nails as we get older. They might feel a little thinner, more brittle. I really like to keep polish on mine because that helps from them breaking. I keep my nails, I need to do a touch up here, but I keep them fairly short just because I deal with a lot of paper at school and files, and if I keep them longer, it's too hard to keep up with it. But yeah, so I love this. Essie makes such quality products. I've talked recently about their Insta-Dry one, that their version of that, the Essie Espressi. I really love that formula. That really, the brush that they have makes it so easy to paint the nails. They made a special brush for the Espressi so you don't get it around the cuticles. I love that it dries so fast. I could be out the door. I could do my nails in the morning before school and not have to worry about messing them up on the way to work. So I really like that. So does anybody have any questions before we go tonight? I just want to thank all of you so much for supporting my channel, supporting the live streams. I have a fun video for you on Saturday. Since you're here, I'll give you a little spoiler. I show the way I used to do my makeup and then how I'm doing it now and the difference between the two. So I do a full face with it the old way. And so instead of a half face, I've done videos before where I did one side of the face and one the other, and it's sort of hard to tell the difference. So the way I shot this video was a full face of the way I used to apply makeup. Then on the other side, it's going to be sort of a split screen so you can see on both sides the difference it makes with changing the way you apply makeup and also using products in a different way. So I'm really excited for that. I hope you'll tune in on Saturday. And remember, if you are over on Instagram, I'd love to have you over there. I posted 2 gua sha videos this week over there. I also posted the one I told you about, a little bit of tea over there about Walmart and something that bothered me. I'll tell you one thing that bothered me before we went and go, and you won't believe this. This was about a month ago. There was a mom and a teenage daughter in the aisle of Walmart. They were opening the packaging of lipsticks and trying them out on their hands. Unopened products. They took the packaging off. So I got to set the scene for this story, okay? So they're in there trying all this stuff, opening packaging, and a lady that's shopping there sees them and says, "What are you doing? Why are you opening those lipsticks and testing them on your hand?" Then comes a Walmart employee around the corner and she says to the ladies, "What are you doing opening those? You need to buy those if you're going to open them." And would you believe they started arguing with the Walmart lady, telling her, the employee, I felt so bad for this employee, they argued with her. They said, "Well, how are we supposed to know what these shades look like if there are no testers? You should have testers." So they thought because Walmart did have testers, they had the right to open totally sealed lipsticks, put them on, and then put them back. They were legit putting them back. And this was just like a month ago. I thought I had seen it all. Well, let me tell you, that really blew my mind. And the trip before that, and this Walmart is a very nice Walmart. The trip before that, someone broke a full bottle of nail polish. Now, you know I know my nail polish. I am one aisle over and I am already sniffing it. I know something has happened. So I guess this is the teacher in me. I'm not going to let this go. I'm going to check it out. So I take my buggy. I come around the corner. Oh, dear goodness. Look, the whole floor was covered with purple nail polish. Someone broke it on the floor, left it just all over the floor and didn't report it. So I go all the way, I'm looking for an employee, I can't find anybody. I go all the way to the register. I said, I got some bad news for you. I am sorry, but there is a full bottle of purple nail polish broken on the floor. You need to get somebody over there quick, because one buggy rolls through there, your floors are going to be destroyed. Or one person gets out on the shoe, it is going to be a mess in the Walmart. I have no words. I have no words. How could somebody break that and leave that on the floor like that? That was just horrible. Debbie says they need to go to Ulta if they want testers. So true. If you want testers, you're going to have to go to Ulta. That's why Walmart has people, you'll see what the post was, but in the comments a lot of people said that's why the prices are lower. There's a lot of reasons, and they don't have testers. You're taking a risk, but that's why you come to the lives and you can see about the products, see what they look like. Here, yeah, I see B. Walker says, or slips and falls. I know, it was just a mess. It was a lawsuit waiting to happen, Debbie. So maybe I saved Walmart for everybody. I don't get it either. Ilhan, I don't understand people, how they could break nail polish that's so pigmented like that and just leave it and run. Helen says, that's crazy. People have no couth. Oh, I agree. You could smell that from a mile away. And you're right, Julie, some people just don't care. And those women, they still, after that lady went, I was peeping on them. Because, I was watching, because I'm used to watching the kids and make sure after I say to do the right thing, they do the right thing. They were still swatching. They were still trying things. And then they were looking around like, is anybody here to bother me? So I give up. I have no words. And B. Walker says, how about dressing rooms and the clothing just being dumped on the floors? I know. It's just terrible the way people take care of things, but not you ladies. You ladies are a class act, and I have loved spending every moment with you tonight. I hope you'll be back on Saturday. We're going to close out tonight sending you all some love and blessings for a beautiful week. And I will see you soon. Love you all so much. Thanks for coming.